You're muted. Oh, maybe.
Thank you so much. welcome. And thank you guys for tuning into the Sisters Talk podcast. I'm your host and creator, Danny M. And today we have a very special topic and special guest. Guys, if you've seen me marketing lately, you know I've been acting real crazy with this because I have so many people, both married and single, who are asking, why is it so hard to date? Sometimes people forget when you get married, you still have to date each other, you know? So I thought this was the perfect topic to bring on relationship coaches, Miss Elitia and Mr. Cullen Mattox. They are the founders of When Love Works Dynamically. And guys, I'm just so honored to have them on the show today.
Thank you for having
us.
Yes.
Yes. And for people who don't know who you guys are, I'm going to give you a little bit of background information on them, okay? So they're both husband and wife, relationship coaches, and founders of When Love Works Dynamically. They help high-performing professionals attract and keep their ideal partner without struggle. So, you know, that struggle love, come on now. They're going to help you guys work it out. They've worked with over 1,000 clients. And they give them tools. They give their clients tools that they need to craft relationships of their dreams. And they also co-authored a book. And I'm going to make sure to put the name of that book up right now. It's called Love Literacy. We talk about financial literacy. We don't think about love literacy.
That's
so
right.
I think that's very unique. Okay, we have people tuning in. Hey, Shay, thank you for tuning in today. Make sure you like, comment, and share this video today. We're going to get into it, guys. So make sure if you see this video, share it, tag a friend. I'm sure anyone and everyone can learn something today from this show. So their first book is called Love Literacy, A Conscious Journey to Healthy Relationships. And during the pandemic, they share over 10 years of best practices towards relationship success. Both Cullen and Elitia travel widely, coaching, facilitating workshops, and hosting retreats. How awesome is that? Guys, don't have to go on vacation alone anymore after they get done with you. Okay, but they can also be found on the When Love Works Dynamically podcast, streaming across the U.S. and 22 countries. So, guys, I want to thank you one more time for being a special guest on the show today. Thank you for taking out a little bit of your time on this Sunday.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Definitely. So before we get started, I did do a few surveys with the audience just to kind of get an idea of what people think. You know, when we think about dating, we kind of think about the typical going out to eat, having a few drinks, maybe doing some Netflix and chilling. I mean, everybody knows about that. I'm not with it, but you know, to each his own. So I posed a question, and I kind of don't even know which one I want to ask first. So I want to show you guys here. I asked a question. And I'm going to remove this banner. Give me just a second here. All right. So I asked the question. You probably can't see the question, but I asked, does sex make or break a relationship? Does it make it or does it break it? 50% says yes, it does make or break the relationship. And 50% said no. Now, this was just based on a story that I posted to my stories on Facebook. I'm pretty sure that the outcome would have been a much higher. But that kind of lets you know already that society is kind of split on their idea of whether or not sex plays a contributing factor on whether or not you guys stay together. So that's very interesting. And I would love for us at some point in this show to address that survey. Also, another survey that I did, but I don't have physical representation of it. I asked, should women propose to a man? I've been seeing that for like the last 3 to 4 years. And so one person responded that we're allowed to, in their religion, to the person who responded, said in their religion, however, in her particular opinion, there has to be a balance because that's one of the pinnacle moments of a masculine pride and development. So just looking at it from the standpoint of African-American couples, the man has to have the time to develop. So I think she's talking about like mental development, you know, responsibility, understanding where they stand and whether they want to be in a committed relationship or not. And also she states that, must be able to take the moment and create something special. Sometimes women take over too many aspects of the family and the social life, including how we want them to date us. Them meaning, you know, whatever your preference is. And that we take out the beauty of allowing someone to shower us with love. That's a very interesting response to that question.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had some questions juggling out there and people were responding. So I'm not gonna make the audience wait. You guys introduce yourselves. Let us know who you are.
I'm Elitia. Yeah, sure. I'm Elitia,
and I'm Cullen, Mattox.
We, like Danny said, we are founders of When Love Works Dynamically. We are relationship coaches, dating coaches, because we got tired of the struggle, y'all. We were our first clients, and people started asking, "What did you do?" And then we shared it with the world. And because we have backgrounds in education, communication, we just put together a lot of shortcuts and just some tools that people could customize their own journey. And that's how When Love Works Dynamically came about.
Oh, I love it. I love the fact that you guys were your own first clients. And go ahead, Cullen. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interject.
Oh, no worries. This is a key stat I just got to throw out there. There are over 4,000 universities in the United States alone, and less than 1% of them are devoted to a healthy relationship curriculum. And that's unforgivable to us, because especially in our Black and brown communities, we are disproportionately affected by bad relationships.
Oh,
if you go out in the world and you experience, racism, sexism, and all that stuff, and then you come back home and you can't even come back home and get built back up, then where does the building back up happen?
That's right. Perpetual negativity, right?
Yes.
You don't get a release. That's the issue. Yes. I agree wholeheartedly. That's a very good broad way to look at communication, connectivity, relationships, because we often think about man and woman, or woman and woman, man and man, whatever your partnership is. We don't think about those relationships outside of our significant other and the ones that we love. And it does truly affect you in every aspect of your life. So I love that outlook on relationship building. Now, I do want to go to the first question that I have for you guys today. And I'm surprised the audience is so quiet right now. You guys were speaking so much when I was marketing, but now everybody's I guess they're just so engaged and tuned in. So first question is, how do you know when you're ready to move forward in a new relationship?
Wow.
Well,
you want to jump in?
You want to go? I'll go first. I don't care. So the way we first of all, in order for things to work, the vocabulary has to be on the same page, and understand there has to be. I mean, people are welcome to do whatever they want to, but if you're going to date, there has to be commonality in what dating looks like. Because some people are serial daters, other people are in it because they really want to find someone. So the first thing we had to do was come up with what the infrastructure looks like, and dating for us is 4 to 6 weeks.
It's a very short shopping experience where you are getting to know if you want to work with this person in a relationship. So for us in our work, and what's going to be bombarded in your head when you're reading Love Literacy, when you listen to our podcast, is dating is not a relationship.
No.
Dating is not a relationship. So we had to Cullen's point, we had to get people on a foundational same page. If you like same page, we're on the same page. I'm shopping, you're shopping. There's no commitment here.
Right.
And at that point, if you are just shopping, then when you say how long should you date before considering a series, that shopping period shouldn't be more than 4 to 6, maybe 4 to 8 weeks if you're long distance. But shopping is not supposed to be permanent. And so when shopping becomes permanent, or when shopping goes more than a 6 week, 8 weeks time, it turns into a situationship. And there's that gray area. And there are years, people are in years of dating, and we're like, no, that's not a healthy way to practice it. Dating is simply shopping. So if you're asking yourself, how long should we date before we get into a serious relationship? Our answer automatically is, once you have your answer in those 4 to 6 weeks, some people find out their answer in 1 week, 2 weeks. Whenever you find out your answer, you're ready to move into a courtship.
Yep. Or move away. Or move the other way.
Or partner.
But either way, it's the only time you get to shop. It's the only time you get to be conditional. And in Black and brown communities, we find ourselves settling down too quickly and start giving advantages and graces to people that haven't earned it, haven't built. You don't know each other, and you're extending graces and you're settling down with that person.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful. Your heart's in the right place. but give it 4 to 6 weeks before you extend that to anyone.
Yeah.
That's reserved for your fiance or your husband or wife.
But what about those people who say, I want to test the waters to make sure that, because again, we just did that survey, does sex make or break a relationship? And 50% of the people say yes. So, let's just say, to be fair, Cullen, they passed all the moralistic tests that you had laid for them within that 4 to 6 week groundwork, right? But now it's getting down to the sex part. Most women can agree with me or disagree. It's your decision. Type it in the comment sections below. Sometimes men can have, or women can have, everything, right, that we're looking for. But when it comes down to that one thing, right, that sexual healing, so to speak, they just didn't pass the test. So now they have 50% as opposed to 100%. Now, what do we do with that, Cullen?
Yeah, in our experience, for us, the way we teach that, because again, we call it a conscious model. So in conscious dating practice for us, there is no sex in that shopping period, because what sex can do is it could act on you as a narcotic. So if you're shopping from store to store, you might be a little fuzzy, just like you do in a mall. You have the right to go in this store and try it on, but you don't have to commit. You can put that thing right back down and walk out the store, and no one's going to chase you and say, excuse me, you committed to pay this, therefore we supposed to have sex now. That's not a thing in dating. So dating is not introduced. Sex, I'm sorry, is not introduced in dating. Sex is introduced when you are committed and you're going into courtship. If people are dating and having sex, that in and of itself is an unhealthy practice, because you are not getting the intel in a sober manner, because you're using a different lens.
Right.
And women, did you hear that?
Yeah. Sobriety. It's the equivalent of going to on a the open house, and you they got the free wine in there. It's the good stuff. And you've had 2 glasses of wine, and you miss the fact that there's a crack in the ceiling and the water pump is leaking. And you sign on that dotted line. You sign your life away on that house, and you don't realize that it's also got flood lines down in the basement. You miss all the little details. We're not pious in any way. Believe me, love sex, want you to have all the fun you can have with it. But this is about you seeing clearly.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love what both of you guys have to say. That's the thing, like Miss Elitia said earlier, we get fuzzy. Sex will cloud any decision, any situation, and we'll be entangled before you know it.
Yeah.
Not even trying to be. So that's you both gave very good advice. Sound advice. So I'm sorry, I have people messaging from different ways. Okay, so let's get to the next question. Playing hard to get. Does it work, or is this idea of dating outdated?
Let me tell you something. The answer is in the first word that you actually use. Anytime, remember, the whole idea of dating is to get clear about what it's about. You showing up genuinely. It's not about you impressing somebody. Most of the time, people pitch people. If you're being honest, there are a lot of people that when they go out into dating experience, it's the equivalent of what companies do when they're trying to win new business. They pitch the client instead of presenting who they really are. Look, it's not sustainable. The only thing that's sustainable is you being your genuine self. Because after a while, it's gonna be hard for you to keep up with the script. So to go back to what your original question was, you said, this is what you said. You said playing hard to get. Playing hard to get is playing. It's a form of playing. You're not being your genuine self. Why is that necessary? You are not. What you're doing is it's a form of bribery. It's like I'm gonna hold this back until you give me what I want. Or I'm gonna hold this, I'm gonna keep this over here so you jump through hoops to get this. And that's it's not necessary. Yeah. It's about both.
That's a good point you just made, but let me ask you this, because we just talked about that 4 to 6 week structure, right? And we also had a comment from Mr. Arthur Frank Jordan, who says too many options limits one's patience. Good point too. When we say playing hard to get, right? Maybe they're just thinking like, oh, I want to make sure this person passed all the tests, like what we talked about earlier. Now the other side's like, man, they're playing with me. Like I don't have time for this. How do you deal with a person like that who's become impatient? Because of basically what Arthur Frank said, too many options limits one's patience.
And that's fair. And that's what we're saying. People, when you learn how to date in a healthy way, in a conscious manner, you get very clear and get on the same page with people so they know I am shopping. So if you want to date with me, you will know that I'm shopping and I know that you're shopping and there's no commitment. And so if you're using words like I'm playing with you, then you misunderstood our purpose here. Because I'm getting to know
connection. Because your connection is not that deep yet.
I'm getting to know you, and I have the right to get to know other people. Some people can date multiple people at a time. Some people have the bandwidth to date multiple people at a time. Some people say I'm gonna date one person, then I'm gonna see if that works, and I'm gonna go to the next person. That's fine, whichever model you choose. But if you are both clear on what dating is, it doesn't come across as playing, and you have options to keep going because you're not committed yet.
And look, if you're in courtship and you do that, then that is considered to be manipulative.
Absolutely.
I get if you're in a committed relationship and then somebody's holding sex away from you, that's manipulation. Yeah. What are you doing?
But playing hard to get in the dating realm is just a misunderstanding. And that's why we're saying when you date healthy, when you date well, when you date using the conscious model, you are very clear on what dating is. Both people are. So there's no you playing or I'm thinking about this. That's how situations form. And that's what I'm saying. Situationships are running rampant around this world right now, especially in our society. We have too many situationships because we have people that are unclear about what healthy dating looks like. And therefore they're making up the rules as they're going. And one person feels hurt because they thought it was this. Anytime there's a thought and you're playing and I assumed, those are situationship based languages. That means both people are not clear.
But I want to change the paradigm. Dating is just about you collecting intel, seeing if you guys have chemistry together, and actually enjoying the experience, because you're there to enjoy the experience too. You didn't make it. You don't have a commitment with that person at that point. It's no promise. You're just getting to know each other, and it's the only time that you get to be unconditional and then make a choice and sit back and say, I went out on a date with Frank last night. I really enjoyed the conversation with him. He was amazing. But there's still some other stuff I don't know about him. So I'm going to pump my brakes and see this and see that. That's all it is. Nothing other than that.
And Nathan, you nailed it. This is a critical conversation. That's why we keep harping on it. Literally, the dating model that we teach now came out of Cullen's personal struggle. 3 years at a time dating people. You look up, your 20s are gone. Your 30s are gone. That's too long, y'all. That's why it is critical, Nathan. That's why chapters 1 through 4, you want to do dating well before you even pick people. That's the part that we're making. We want to save people time. We don't want you to struggle in this dating because you don't even know how a healthy dating practice looks like. This is critical. People are in situationships for years.
Yes. And it's fair to say sometimes it's passed on from what they see growing up, or they just simply don't know, right? It just don't know. So I love it. I love it. Let's go on to the next question. People are loving it in the audience too. So how long should you date before considering a serious relationship, guys?
Yeah, we've seen people in our work, we've seen people date for about 2 weeks even, and then they know what they know, and either they part in love or they go into courtship. So you could literally have a 2-week dating cycle or 1-week dating cycle, and you have all your questions answered, and you two are ready to go into a committed relationship. Some people take longer, like we said, up to 8 weeks if they're long distance, maybe because of the traveling, the back and forth. You can't get all your answers because you're in different states or whatever, different countries. We've had clients that have been in different countries and made it work in that way. But after that, 2-month mark, they have all their questions answered. And so they're going into serious relationship or they're parting in love. And for us, we teach that practice, either part or go into commitment, because everything else is a gray area. And when you're parting in love, there's a way to do that. So you leave that person with their dignity intact, because they now have to go back into the world. And we don't need anyone else hurt going back to date the next person.
Ooh, that's the part. So y'all have to come back with that. Yes. Because so we literally have bathed in that gray area so long.
Yeah.
We are severely damaged. Right?
Yep.
Severely damaged.
Yeah.
We have someone in the audience. Nathan says, I thought to treat dating like an interview with multiple interview sections.
I mean, it's basically, it's very similar to that. You are collecting intel, and you're collecting intel. You're observing chemistry. Chemistry you can answer
easily,
damn near immediately. But the intel is the balance of you getting, you're taking what you hear them say and then matching it up to what they actually do.
Come on.
And you have to be on a date to do that. And so that's why it seems like it's an interview, but interview sounds like it's just asking questions. No, we're like, no, you're gonna have to do some work. Look at y'all. We are When Love Works Dynamically. Keyword works. So you can't just listen to what people say. You have to observe how they show up in action and then see if you coming across, see if when they're in your presence, do you change? Do you shift? Like that's something you have to have experientially. So for us, a healthy dating is composed of those three parts. And so Nathan, to your point, yes, some people can do it with multiple people at one time. Some people can only date one person to find out all those three areas and then move on to the next. Right. But it has to be a combination of both listening to what they say and observing the that come to pass or not. And if it's not, part in love quickly.
Yeah.
Very, very good sound advice, guys. So listen, they're not playing with you guys. These relationship coaches on this show today, Miss Elitia, Mr. Cullen, they're not cutting any corners, okay? It's either you're going to be red or blue, one or two, and unite, okay, to make three. But what you're not going to do, you're not playing around in that gray area. And I love that because it really does make people responsible, not only for the decisions that they make, but their emotional, impact that they have on other people. And I don't think that we have become responsible enough as a people yet in order to foster those healthy relationships.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much for that sound advice. Our next question. What are some red flags to consider while dating?
To me, the biggest red flag is when people aren't who they say they are. Like if they tell you they're they're this and then you come back and don't see it, that's your first lie. And without if they're not who they say they are, you don't have a if they think it's an option to lie to you, then there is no relationship. Mm-hmm. The lies like a tombstone on your relationship.
Yeah.
So for me, that's the big one. And
I'll just add one of the things that we help people avoid in our work too in a conscious dating is if you are clear about who you are and what you want in a relationship, then they don't have to come across as red flags. They just come across as things that don't work for you. And then when they don't work for you, you kindly end the dating cycle, part in love with that person, and you keep it moving. So it doesn't have to be a blaming to say like this person, that's a red flag because they don't communicate. They just communicate once a day by phone. And I really thought that they were communicating this. That's okay. That's for them. That just doesn't work for you. It doesn't have to be throw them away type of thing.
Right.
What you need to do first, and what we advocate and what we teach our clients is that you need to do your relationship profile first, and then you go out to date. Because if you're dating without your profile in place, you're setting people up for failure. They're gonna hit a wall trying to figure you out. But if you come to every date very clear on what works for you, when you are dating someone that does not work for you or what they do doesn't work for you, you're clearly able to say, "Oh, okay, next, no harm, no foul."
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's your job to vet.
Yep.
That's your whole job. Your whole job is to vet and see the red flags. You're not just going, you're not looking, obviously you're not just going, because I don't want to paint the picture that you're going to be this detective. It doesn't require all that. Because I've seen people that do that. They come, almost like a witch hunt. You don't have to do that. All you have to do is be conscious.
I've seen people stay up for more than 12 hours trying to crack codes on cell phones.
Yeah.
I've seen this. Okay, I'm not gonna put your name out there, but I've seen this. So, and they cracked it too.
Yeah, all that's, but that's too much. That's too much energy.
That's too much energy. That's
too much energy. When are you gonna do your day job? Because now you got another one. If you're doing that, I don't know how you're gonna be a high performing professional. You don't have time for it.
Yeah,
and then
for those who don't know, Sisters Talk LLC was actually created for my cousin, rest in peace, Shaniqua Douglas Williams. She told me to get her story out, and I don't want to cut too much into our own segment today, but she had a lot of situations going on in her marriage, I should say. And my God, some of the things that I said, I just don't ever want to deal with that. So guys, if you want to date healthy, make sure you go to the website that you see flowing down below, wlwdynamically.com, guys. They're going to get you right. That WLW stands for When Love Works, okay? I don't know, I'm so sorry, Cullen. I just had to interject that because you gave me flashbacks. And I said, she went through so much, and I just, it's sad to see so many Black women, especially, go through all this unnecessary chaos when if they had the right setup and understanding of what communication looks like, what a real healthy dating scheme looks like, then they would bypass a lot of this bull crap, right? Just to be fair.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of people in the audience that are typing. So let me get to it. Nathan says, thoughts on living together before a long-term relationship commitment. Too many failed marriages because each person didn't know they are like XYZ.
Well, for us, we go back. You want to jump?
No, I'll go after you.
To Nathan's point, for us, after you say, okay, I'm finished my dating cycle, we're going into a committed relationship, we're courting now, we're saying you better get to work. If you didn't do your profile in dating, you better have your profile done in courtship, because pages 49 to 51 of our book, you better have all those questions answered, because you don't want to live together or go into marriage and setting people up to fail. So to Nathan's point about too many failed relationships, is because they haven't done their part first. And now the whole relationship is the partner trying to guess, the partner trying to figure out what you like, or them hitting the wall. And it's just all of this wasted time. And we're saying, do your profile first, partner up with somebody else that's doing their profile, and y'all will see if it's a match. The rest is easy. When we tell y'all the rest, when you do this work on the front end, you will have a relationship that is going to blow your mind. It's going to be beyond anything you could ever dream of, because you're setting the person up to succeed and you're set up to succeed. And those two type of people coming together, oh my goodness. It's beautiful.
And I don't know when you came in, Nathan, but originally we talked about how there's absence of healthy relationship curricula in colleges, and so nobody's being taught this thing, so they're doing trial and error. So, which is why we picked this stuff up to do it. And a critical element is to recognize that dating is the only time you get a chance to actually do your scrutiny, vet, figure out who people are. And I'm telling you, if you get that right, you set yourself up for the next thing, which dating goes to courtship, courtship goes to lifetime partnership. Courtship usually lasts about a year. In that time, those first 3 months, you were transitioning from a conditional relationship where you were shopping before in dating. You're now transitioning in those first 3 months from conditional relationship to unconditional connection. Thank you. To an unconditional relationship. And once you get into unconditional, first of all, if there are conditions attached to the type of love that you're giving, don't call that love. That's an oxymoron. The only thing that qualifies as love is unconditional commitment to love that person. And people ebb and flow. Choose the person that you can do that with. Otherwise, you're lying to yourself, because anything that's conditional and attached to love, it's not love.
Yeah, that's why, Nathan, that's why we do this. We don't want you wasting the time. Again, we've had our own personal, 9 years at a time for Cullen. Don't waste your time. Get the tools to date well, because you're going to choose well when you date well, or when you date the conscious way, the healthy way that we teach. And then when you go into courtship, you're with the person that's going to do that work. It won't be wasted time. Y'all are going to build something amazing. We've seen it. We work with too many people to help them get there. It just takes a little bit of work on the front end. Because once you go into that love part, it's all unconditional from there, baby.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. And Arthur Frank Jordan says, when both know what he or she wants, the rest is easy. Honesty is so attractive.
It really is.
It really is.
It really is.
I love
that part, Frank.
This man is seasoned. He knows. He knows. Mr. Frank, no, and all of us have gone through something, even for the ones that are married now. I mean, I have some dating conversations we can talk about on part 2. It was wild out there in those streets. But so Nathan says many women want money first as the relationship conditions. Why women are honest upfront about why, I think what he's trying to say is, why aren't women honest upfront about that?
What? Well, I'll go on first.
We was coming for you, Nathan. We was coming for you.
I'm going first on this one. I want to say this. at the end of the day, everything you're saying exists out there. All of those things exist out there. Everything. You can, wherever your vibration level is, I guarantee you can find anything that will support what your beliefs are. What I'm telling you, though, is it is your responsibility to vet. And it's also, first of all, I'm telling you, your vibrations have everything to do with that. Recognize, just like walking through the jungle, you're going to see parrots, snakes, everything. Don't get caught up in judgment. See that snake and step over here and keep walking.
That's right.
And enjoy the beauty that's in that same jungle that you're walking through. But there's danger. And there's some stuff you can get caught up in. Leave that over there. Leave that little red frog over there. That if you lick it, you die. Leave the snake over there in the tree. Leave that alone and enjoy the parakeet and the other thing over there. And you can look at those dangerous things and see the prettiness of it and stay 10 feet away.
That's right.
And that's exactly what I'm gonna tell you about dating. It's all there. Yes. But your keep your vibrations up high, because there's also some amazing women out there.
That's right, Nathan. So when you say that, we both on you, because we're like, no, it's your job. If a person is not honest up front about wanting money, then Nathan didn't have Nathan's profile done first to recognize, oh, the moment I hear and see that this person is upfront about money, okay, this is the end of my dating cycle. It was nice meeting you. All right, I'm gonna go. And that's the end of the dating cycle. You part in love because you leave that person intact, but you keep it moving. You don't now come on here. No, Nathan, you don't get the right to come on here now and judge this person who want money up front. If that doesn't work for you, then that's you. And that's okay for that person to be like that. No judgment on that person. It just doesn't work for you. So your first assignment is to get this book and get to page 4951 and get your profile done to find out what works for you, because you don't have the right to now judge what they like. That's them. Let people be themselves. Let people be themselves, and you get clear on what you need.
Because there are all kind of predators out there in the dating process. There are serial daters. There are people who, I don't know, the funniest one to me was people who have foodie calls. You know, they just go out with you just so they can eat dinner. So hey, look, all of it's out there. Yeah. But you're smart. You know, if you're conscious, you don't even have to be a detective. You just got to be conscious.
That's right.
Don't project. Don't be in the future, and don't be in the past. Don't think about, I wonder where me and her are going, or me and him are going. No, stay right there in the moment and pay attention to what's going on. Yeah. You'll see everything you need to know. You ain't got to be a detective.
That's right, Tina. Leave them right there. But you got to know you first.
I wanted to say that so that she was having me cracking up on the back end. I'm pretty sure she's had some issues here. So all of us have, respectfully, all of us have, because a lot of us are still learning. Even in the realm of coaching, you're learning something every day, because you hear so many situations, things that you never thought could be possible is going on in certain people's lives. So I mean, it's fascinating. It's fantastic what you guys are doing. Thanks for tuning in, Basim. He says, absolutely. So to each his own, let people do what they do.
Yes.
But, like Miss Elitia says, you better go to page 49 on the book. Let me put this book name up here so you guys know which book you need to go purchase. If you're having issues in your relationship, go purchase Love Literacy, guys. I mean, a lot of times we want to pick up the book or go to Google to search everything else, but we don't want to research how to increase our dating turnouts, right? To find that special one. Are you dating with intention, or are you dating for fun? These are questions you need to know up front before you get out in the waters. I like to say those waters are vicious. It's savage out here, to some respect, right? So if you know what you're looking for, stay in key and in tune with who you are. Get that vibration up. I like what you said about that, Cullen, because a lot of people don't believe that. It's very true. When you're down and out, you don't have high self-esteem about yourself. You're confused. You attract everything that you don't want because you're not where you need to be mentally, physically, and spiritually. So very good advice, sound advice. All right. And so coming to a close with these questions, guys. So if you have more questions, you better start typing in the comment section. Now, our final question is, why do some attract, we just covered this, the same poor quality over and over again?
Yeah.
There is a person named Professor Hawkins, and he was a kinesiologist. and he recognized the whole vibration thing, and he collected his group of people, and they went out and measured. They had all the equipment and everything to measure the energy and vibrations that were coming off everything, even energy, because everything is in movement. I mean, even a cup, which seems like an inanimate object, is in movement. If you have a strong enough microscope and you put this under the microscope, you can see that this is moving as well. So this guy, long story short, this guy created something called the Hawkins scale of consciousness, and basically, and this is answering that question. If you are operating in like the lower frequencies, hold up.
Look, there's the book.
If you are operating in the lower frequencies, and we live in New York City, if you go on a train and you're operating at a lower frequency, you will run into every low operating, because I don't want to call any child of God a low person, but they'll be operating low at the lowest possible vibration they possibly can. And you will run into every person like that on that train in your commute. I watch this day in and day out. I've actually watched people come on with nasty energy and just draw, and then the other people, it almost like it was a gladiator thing. And that person was attracted to that energy, and then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, they fighting. All these people in the car. How does this person make it all the way over here? They came in through this door, and you came through that door, and they still found a way to be together because that energy is magnetic. They draw, you draw to you, and that's the what's the thing? The law of attraction. Mm-hmm. It's real. Somebody said it in the thing.
Yeah, Nathan got the
Nathan said that. It's real.
And that's why we go into it in the first couple of chapters of this, because you have to know that as you are dating, as you are in your own marriage, as you are courting, you have to know your vibration. So we break that down in here too, because that's a part of love literacy. Don't want love, which vibrates on this chart at 500. Don't want love and you operate every day at apathy down at 50. We know where the disconnect happens. So we're going to teach you why the disconnect is there, and then walk you through how to get your energy up to what you truly desire. Because there are a lot of people that really want healthy love relationships and they're vibrating in low and don't know why. So we help you get very clear on where you are, what's going on, how to get conscious so that you can stay at a higher vibration to actually get what you say you want. Because there are too many people say, I want this great relationship, but don't even know that they're vibrating low. And we're like, here's some help. Know where you are and see how far away that is from what you actually say. Because love is way up here at 500, y'all.
Let's keep it real. You might be an awesome person, but you done had 3 bad dates in a row. And now and tell me I'm lying about this. So now you in apathy mode. You like, man, yeah, I'm gonna go on this date tonight. I don't even know if there's any more good men out here or any more good women out here. And you go on that date. You in apathy. How are you gonna attract anything other than another apathetic person? You're not gonna do it. I promise you, when you go on that date, even if that is a person who generally operates at a higher level in love, joy, peace, and what's that one? And the other one, the enthusiasm or whatever, the top one. Even if you are in those 3 things which don't have the conditions attached to them, which means you are free. Even on your worst day, you still have peace. You still have joy. You still have love. And most of us have seen that in those grandparents who have been through some stuff. And now you can't take their joy that easy. You can't take their peace that easy. That's right. So all I'm saying to you is, even if you went on that date, if you bring apathy with you, you're not going to see that in him or her. You done already ruined the date. Why even go?
That's something to seriously think about. And we don't think about it. And that's the reason why we had to name this topic today. Why is dating so hard? Okay. And Tina says, yes, can't take my joy.
Yeah.
Some of us, we get so wrapped up in the idea of, right? And we haven't even figured ourselves out yet. I see that so often. We have to know who we are to know what we want. so that we can attract what we need and what we want to be around, for the rest of our lives. So this was so informative, so educational. And I mean, we've been going for 42 minutes straight. So Miss Elitia and Cullen, you guys are phenomenal. Great advice from Arthur Frank.
Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. To Danny's point, dating does not have to be hard, y'all. But what Danny mentioned is the work. We are When Love Works Dynamically. In the first 4 chapters of this book, you will get very intimate with yourself before you're going out into this world. Or even if you're already married, you will circle back and know yourself in a healthier way so that you can set up your partner for success.
Right.
It's all about healthy love, y'all. And you have to do your work. So the first 4 chapters of this book is all you.
I love it.
Yep.
You know, we always want to point the finger. And I think, Cullen, you mentioned this too. It shouldn't be a blame game, right? We have to know who we are first.
Yeah.
To know
what
we need.
Guess what? You know what? This is the reality. I could be a great person and she could be a great person, and we be just a bad match. I don't want to put that out in the air of my marriage, but I'm just saying you could be that's all you need to know. 2 great people show up on a date. The 2 of you just aren't a match, because maybe you're funny and this person is super, super serious and doesn't really find anything funny. They take themselves and the world too serious, but they're otherwise an amazing person. It doesn't mean that you get thrown away, that you are a failure. You're not enough. It just means it's a bad connection. Move on. Leave that person intact. Tell them you're amazing, Tina. You're amazing, Nathan. But we're not amazing.
Yeah. Don't say that part like that, but yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I love the fact that you said keep the other person intact.
Yes.
We teach people how to part in love. Like, we have an event coming up this Tuesday where we're doing live, where we're walking people through the worksheets and stuff like that, because we have to teach you how to part in love. Leave the other person intact, not judging them. Let them people be who they are, because you want to be able to be who you are.
Yep.
And a lot of times that's a taught skill. So we teach it.
Yep.
Definitely. Yep. Guys, I'd be lying to say that you guys weren't past spectacular. So thank you guys so much for gracing the stage of the Sisters Talk podcast. We had a very much needed talk about why is dating so hard. Guys, make sure you attend that live streaming event. It's going to be live streamed, correct?
No, we all on Zoom. We doing this together, not streaming.
Okay,
you're gonna be doing your work with us. If we have to do work, y'all have to do this work too.
Yeah, it's fun and interactive, and
Awesome. So we have Kathy Tatum, who says that do us part in the house, and I'm not going first. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Sister Kathy, for logging on to the show today. And then we have
questions.
Yes, it says, what if you have met 2 to 3 people with everything you want and desire, all possess what you want? How do you choose? That's a fair question.
Yeah, Frank, you need to be there Tuesday, because what everything people want and desire, we have to go into that. And then when you line them up with the profile, that takes a little bit of more in. And I know we wrapping up here, so
it's a deeper dive. But I will say this to you, this ain't the only brain you have. You have intelligence in your gut. That's why people have been saying it for years. Go with your gut. Frank, go with your gut. Mm-hmm. But if you join us, man. We have podcasts, all kinds of stuff. Yeah. There are ways to interact with us.
Yeah, but if you look at the website below, that's going to give you links to everything that you need.
Yeah,
definitely. And then we have Miss Tina, who says, awesome information, guys. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. This was fun. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us here. Thank you for having us here. And thanks for the love, guys.
I was going to say, I'm going to remove it from the screen in just a few minutes. But before you go, I would like to ask you, do you have any final advice or words to the audience?
My final takeaway is do the work. It's so worth it. When you do the work, when love works dynamically and you put in the work, you're going to experience rewards that will blow your mind on the other side of the work. Do a little bit of work and experience a transformative love like you've never seen before. It's worth it, y'all.
My advice is, this is compatible with hers. They go together more or less. Be yourself. Please be genuine. Please don't try to pitch people on dates. Be yourself.
Somebody's thanking you in the audience, I'm sure. Yeah. You know how many times we've been bamboozled from people who are just showing up as their representative? very often.
Yes.
Very often.
Yes.
So thank you for that so much. And as I said, guys, I want to thank you one last time for being on the show. I'm pretty sure this won't be your last time coming on. Okay, so guys who just tuned in, make sure you check out their live section. You're going to do some work now. There's going to be an interactive session, and that's the link below. So just copy and paste it if you can, or write it down. And keep up with them. You know, let me go ahead and put up the links to the book as well, guys. This is all helpful information. You know, sometimes we have it all financially, we have it all career-wise, or we're owning our own business, but we're not full, you know, we're not fulfilled. And that's because we're missing in that love life area. So guys, if you have any questions, concerns, you want to book your session with this lovely couple, reach out to them. Everything you need to know is in the stream website below. Okay, so if you have any questions, DM me or DM them. All the information is here. I've been kind of spreading out the love throughout the show. And guys, as always, I just want to thank everybody from tuning into the Sisters Talk podcast. We've had some amazing people on the show. I'm going to remove you guys from the stream. I have to talk to the audience. One moment. Don't go anywhere. Guys, I want to thank you guys so much for always tuning into the Sisters Talk podcast. Guys, if you enjoyed that segment, make sure you like, comment, share this video. You never know who you may be helping, including yourself. So for everyone who wasn't afraid and very transparent to just ask those questions, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. A lot of us are repairing brokenness within, and also a lot of us are searching for our loved ones, the one that we want to later rest with one day. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be shy to ask for information. Guys, we're in this world to help each other as human beings. And once we realize that, you'll be surprised how much society will excel and succeed in every aspect of our lives, right? And so, and thank you so much, Arthur Jordan. Thank you. You are spectacular as well. So, guys, for a lot of you guys, a lot of people who tune into our show, they're amazing people, from authors to politicians and people who are running for office soon. So, guys, I can't thank you enough. Like I said, for tuning into the show every Sunday at 3 p.m. Now, the next 2 weekends, our show will be off. School is starting back, guys. So I'll be back on the air in September. But you know, when I come back, I'm going to have some amazing guests on the show. All right. So as always, I want to tell you guys to remain blessed, stay safe. If you have any questions, guys, thank you so much, Tina. If you have any questions, guys, about the couple that was on the show today, their name is Miss Elitia and Cullen Mattox, and they are the owners of When Love Works Dynamically. That website, to any and everything that you want to know about how they book, any live sessions that they have coming up, which they have one coming up on Tuesday, you want to go to that website, wlwdynamically.com, okay? And if you have any further questions from there, just go ahead and drop me a message, DM me. You know I'm here for the people. And I'm going to sign out, guys. Yes, Sister Kathy for Mayor 2022. I don't know. Did I say it right here? Or is it 2023? Don't hold it to my heart, okay? Tina says, Kathy, you got my vote. Amen. So, guys, as always, I want to thank you guys for tuning into the Sisters Talk podcast. You guys be blessed.